Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
Broadcasting live from Strong Island Studios in Massapequa, New York.
You're listening to Man Up
With Eric Holzman and Matt Lehman.
Happy day after Christmas, everybody. This is Man Up here on Strong Island Radio every Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. And yes, yesterday was Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yes, as you know, my co-host Matt, braving another illness to be here.
This time. I don't know what it is, man. I got the. It's once like November hits, I get like the plague, and I'm fairly healthy aside from, not to get too personal, I have some stomach issues, but
yeah.
So I can't do anything about that. But aside from that, I'm fairly healthy, and yeah, the thing is, I'm not going to say any names, but there was someone at one of the houses that I went to Christmas Eve that was sick and didn't tell anyone, and it wasn't like they were obviously sick because I have a sore throat right now.
Yes.
They didn't tell anyone, then they casually mentioned it at the end, and everyone had been, not to say we've been sharing drinks, but you know, you're passing around food, you're whatever, and I think that's how I got it. So
yeah.
Luckily, it's the start of it. So hopefully I won't be dead by the end of the week. But probably the worst of it is yet to come, unfortunately. So.
No, so I mean, you know, yesterday was Christmas. The weekend, obviously, you know, Christmas Eve, and anytime Christmas falls on a weekend or a Monday, it kind of becomes a whole weekend event.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So some things for people started on Friday, some on Saturday.
Family comes in, you know, whatever it is, picking people up at the airport. That's the non-fun part of it.
Yeah, the traveling this time of year is crazy. But how was your Christmas?
It was good. I really can't complain. I mean, Christmas Eve we spent at my mom and dad's. It's the first time they've hosted in God knows how long.
Right.
Had about 12 people over there. My sister, aunts, cousins, you know. My girlfriend's mom actually came as well.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it was nice. We had literally, much like any Italian, or maybe, you know, whoever's Christmas, but mostly Italian. I think I was full by the second course. You know what I mean? Like, we had appetizers. But when we have appetizers, it's like trays of appetizers.
Right.
And that doesn't even include the cheeses and all the stuff that goes on the table.
Right.
The little Andes mince candies, which it's like crack to me because I just can't stop eating them for some odd reason. So we had ham, we had ravioli, we had fried shrimp, we had all this different stuff. By the end of it, I felt like I was going to pass out. But the cool part about Sunday, and we're not going to get too off track here now, is football was actually on Sunday, so it's a very unique Sunday football, Week 16.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a little later, but
Yes.
as well as a few other things, obviously.
Well, yeah. Well, football's on all weekend. You had Saturday.
I know.
Sunday.
Monday. Double 2 games on Monday.
Right, 2 games on Monday. So it was for sports as well. I mean, the NBA technically everyone says begins on Christmas Day. Now.
That game was pretty good.
So yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later too.
Yeah, but what did you actually end up doing?
Every year we go to my sister Allison's house, the one
right here.
Close. Yeah, she lives literally a mile away, and similar thing. Like I mentioned last week, she lived with an Italian woman's family when she first got married, and she learned all the fish and stuff like that.
Yep.
Not crazy, but not the really hardcore fish, but like she does calamari, fried shrimp, linguine and clam sauce, all that stuff. So I was there for that. And then yesterday, my sister Pat, who lives in Lindenhurst, not too far from here, she had Christmas dinner, and we were there. I was there. We had prime rib, lasagna.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
I like it. Meat or not meat? I mean, I'm a firm believer it has to have meat in it, right?
It was meat.
Some people don't, you know.
Yeah, no, I know. But my brother-in-law, I don't know if he deep fried it. He cooked the meat, the prime rib outside, and it was incredible. It was so good. I'm a beef guy, so I love all that stuff.
You're not a ham guy? Like, usually, isn't it Christmas ham, holiday ham kind of thing,
Christmas is usually like, you know, it used to be traditionally turkey again for Christmas and ham. Same like you'd have at Thanksgiving, but I like it. If there's a nice if there's a roast beef or something, I'm always going to pick that. That's always going to be my choice.
Any good plans for the next holiday, which happens to be in literally 5 days? 6 days, sorry. New Year's Eve.
As of now, no. I honestly have no plans for New Year's Eve. I don't know what.
You heard it here, ladies. He's looking for someone to kiss at midnight.
I'm free.
Single, not single, but single and eligible right here. So call on the show if you want to proposition Eric.
Yeah, give me a call.
As always, the number.
Photos.
516-945-9099.
Yes.
If you want to proposition Eric or
Yeah,
for
if you
anything
want to
else.
take me out, you can take me out. I'll be very progressive, and women can take me out this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You gotta put on a dress then, some
That's
heels,
fine.
maybe doll
That's a
yourself
sexist
up.
comment, Matt.
Maybe you have to doll yourself up regardless.
That's a sexist comment saying that you have to be a woman to be taken out. It's 2017, soon to be 2018.
Yeah, let's see how many women agree that you should be paid for.
No, you're right.
Good luck winning that argument.
I'm very traditional.
So our show today, it's actually it's an interesting day because it's in the middle of Christmas and New Year's. We're not on either holiday. We're actually the day after every holiday.
Yeah, this year.
But the cool thing is we're going to actually do our first, I wouldn't call it an interview, but it's going to be like an on-air first interaction with someone that we actually scheduled to be on. My friend Alex Koyman, who's a diehard Star Wars fan, will be hopping on at 7:10, so in about 5 minutes he'll be calling in. Eric and him will do a review. I did not see Star Wars yet because of all the holiday pandemonium. I did look at one of those 10-minute review spoiler things, which obviously it's not going to do it justice. I'm still going to see the movie, but Eric and Alex, they're both Star Wars nerds. It's not a negative term. It's just a fact. One of them, I think Alex more so. Well, I know he likes the dark side a little more. Are you more of a light side guy or what? Or you don't have any?
No, I would definitely be more of a light side guy. I would say I grew when I was a kid. I was definitely more of a Luke Skywalker fan. It was like you liked Luke Skywalker, you liked Han Solo as a boy. Girls used to like Princess Leia.
Yeah, of course.
Or you were a bad kid and you like Darth Vader. That's pretty much what it
Listen,
boiled
I don't
down
think.
to.
First of all, Darth Vader redeems himself.
Yes, but at the time when I see this is the advantage I have over you. I was born 6 months before Star Wars was released, the first one. So
Really showing your age here, Eric.
Yeah, these movies have literally been a part of my life since I was born.
Okay.
So I didn't have the advantage of seeing the other ones first and then seeing.
But then when did you actually see your first Star Wars? You didn't see it when you were
on
6 months?
No, I saw them on re-releases when they were re-released into the theaters. Because what they used to do is they used to re-release the movie before the next one came out. So you'd be able to see Star Wars before Empire Strikes Back came out.
Because there's no Netflix and stuff like this.
We didn't have that.
Yeah.
I mean, VHS was in its infancy at the time, so we didn't have. You had Betamax, which was this huge box. It was like this big, and the cassettes were like that big.
That reminds me of Laserdisc.
Right? Yeah.
Similar thing, you know? It was like a
was
CD
similar.
and then a Laserdisc. You're like, what the hell is this thing? It's gigantic.
Yes. And then again, then you had the VHS, obviously, which VCR, everyone got to.
Yeah.
That was a little bit more fan friendly.
So just Alex is going to call here in a minute. We're going to spoil everything. All right, we're not holding back this week. We're doing a full review just like we did with Justice League. We held off a little. Every week, every time a movie comes out like this, we'll kind of give you a half full review the week before, right after it comes out, and we'll give 2 weeks, and then we'll give a full review. So along with that, we're going to talk about the Knicks as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about yesterday. What happened with the Knicks.
Of course. And well, not just yesterday, the whole week.
Right, what's been going on. Right.
Was the whole, the trend of the team in general.
Right.
And then, of course, we're going to dip into some fantasy football because this past week was championship week for most leagues.
Yes.
And our daily picks and also the NFL Week 16 schedule.
Yeah.
So before Alex calls in.
What was your Christmas? Like, what was your...
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what is your best gift that you got for Christmas?
All right, so my sister gave me a Star Wars collectible plate, which Matt saw the picture of. I actually sent Bobby, the producer, the picture of it, but I don't think he got it. I was going to ask him to put it up. But it's a really nice... It's from Episode 4, New Hope. It has Luke on the front. It's a really, really nice plate. So I was surprised to get that because I wasn't expecting something like that. So it was very nice of her to get for me. And
really quickly, I think that's awesome. But you're never going to actually use it as a plate. It's just going to go on the wall.
It will never have food on it.
And my girlfriend will kill me if I don't sneak this in. She got me a customized, personal Jets jersey. We have Alex calling in.
Yes.
We'll start our Star Wars: The Last Jedi review. So sign off now if you don't want to hear about Star Wars. Hey, what's up, Alex? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on? I'm doing great.
Okay, again, I introduced him earlier. This is Alex Koyman, one of my close friends, Star Wars fiend, and probably comparable to Eric, but he's the dark side reviewer, and Eric's the light side reviewer. All right.
Yeah, for our little pre-chat before, it seems like we both had different feelings on the movie anyway. So this will actually be pretty good. So I saw really quickly. I saw The Last Jedi the night it came out. I tried to get tickets beforehand, but I couldn't. So I saw it the night it came out.
Oh, yeah.
And on my first viewing, I was disappointed in the film. And the reason I was disappointed in the film was because it wasn't the movie that I wanted.
Okay.
It wasn't the story that I thought Luke Skywalker. It was really the Luke arc that bothered me in the story that he had. So I said to myself, you know what? I don't want to have my own selfish reasons for not liking this movie. So let me go see it again. So I saw it a couple of days after that. I saw it the Saturday after that, and completely changed my mind.
Alex, you only saw it once, or did you see it twice as well?
Yeah, no, I only saw it the once. I saw it on opening night. Nice, good 9 o'clock showing, Lowe's.
He bought it like 5 months ahead of time or something like that.
Yeah, well, the night it
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I had the Fandango alert set up. The second those tickets went on sale, my phone beeped, and I bought them. Boop, boop.
Yeah.
But when I bought them then, I didn't sit right in the middle. I had to get seats like on the side of the theater.
Really?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I think I explained this. At least for me, I had heard they were going to show the trailer and then release the tickets. So I was like, all right, I have time because they're going to show the trailer. The trailer was supposed to show up Monday Night Football, which it did. And then,
Right.
But then they started selling tickets before that, earlier in the day.
Sneaky. Very
So
sneaky.
I got tickets that night for the movie, but I didn't get to go till 11 o'clock because of I wanted to go earlier.
I feel like that's a better crowd. I mean, no offense to Alex going at 9, but I feel like...
No, 9's a good crowd.
Well, 9's actually a good crowd, but like the
Yeah.
5 o'clock crowds are terrible because it's like all kids, and you're like, all right, they don't really know about this.
There was definitely a lot of families, a lot of kids there. So.
Yeah.
What did you think about the film? Did you have any major issues?
Well, what was your initial reaction?
I'll let Eric
All
answer.
right. So my initial reaction was when I left the theater, I was like, okay, this is Star Wars. I definitely knew that, but I was bothered by some things. First thing I do after I see, my Star Wars movies is I get around the neck. I see the other diehard fans have to feel about this. Is what I'm feeling, verified by other people, right? Confirming bias type of thing. And I found that, general consensus was that a lot of longtime fans had, certain issues with it, but a lot of, more newer fans and casual moviegoers, really enjoyed the film.
That's fair.
Which, that was pretty much what me and my wife agreed on, was that, as a movie, going to see a movie, it was pretty good. But in the whole scheme of Star Wars and how it fits into everything that's been building over 7 movies previously, now it's kind of takes a turn and goes a different direction.
It did take a turn, and
Yeah.
I would contest that it was a turn that had to be made, because we are stuck. We were continually, if not, look, we grew up with these characters, right? So we grew up with the Skywalker story, from depending how old you are, from whether you saw Episode 4 first or whether you saw Episode 1 first, you grew up with that story, and now you have these new characters in this new universe, and it was time to kind of shed Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, and to move on to more what Rey is going to do now, and Finn and Poe and Kylo Ren, and it's their movie now. It's their universe now. And that when I first saw it, I didn't think that way, but then when I saw it the second time, I said, you know what, that's exactly what this movie was doing. Mm-hmm. It's making that turn to say, you know what, you had your time. Now it's time for these new characters.
It paid homage to the older ones. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Alex.
Yeah. And which that aspect of it, I definitely agree with you, and I think that's a good part of the movie. Just certain ways of how they handled the transition that I'm like, ugh, with,
All right, so go ahead.
What are the specifics?
Okay.
Like, what things do you really not like?
Okay. I'd probably say my single most unfavorite part of the entire movie was the quote unquote Super Leia scene.
Yeah, that's a popular one. That is a popular one amongst fans.
And
go ahead.
Yeah, and it's just they kind of introduced a lot of things in this movie that you over the course of 7 of the movies and a bunch of books that they put out, and the Clone Wars and Rebels and all that stuff, and you've never seen some of this stuff before. You've seen Jedi that will use the Force to they pull things to them, but to actually pull themselves to something you know, you haven't seen that. But
Right.
still, that's kind of cool. It's interesting. I just didn't like how they did the scene. It was too much CGI. I thought they could have, you know, knocked Leia out some, you know, 1,000 different ways. You know, had her just outside the bridge and a, you know, debris of rubble falls and hits her on the head. Boom, she's knocked out for several scenes.
I actually, that scene, that's probably my least favorite scene as well in the film. And, I mean, it's the first time we see her use the Force on screen in any movie. And it's the way it was done in the movie, it was a little bit too much. Like I said, this is a little bit too far-fetched for me to buy.
Yeah, but all right, so I'm cutting in because here's the thing, right? I always wonder, well, why can't they fly? Because if you can control the Force around you and the Force is everywhere, then why can't you control the Force lifting you up if you can lift rocks and stuff with it? Like your boulders, like that are way heavier than you. Why can't you lift yourself up? Why? I understand them introducing it that way now and whatever. But I think that it's not too absurd. Like it's not really that absurd.
Well, no. If you believe what the Force is, then that's why I'm saying anyone who's seen the movie knows that's what she was doing. Obviously, that's what this was. But we had never seen her do anything before.
Yeah.
Besides just know, okay, Luke's in trouble, or no, someone died, or no, like she always had that.
It's
ability.
Like that movie Chronicle. You ever see Chronicle where he levitates himself in his mind?
All of a sudden, she just does this thing, and you're kind of like,
excuse me.
Okay. That's a really weird way for her to introduce using her Force power. So I kind of agreed. I agree with that scene. That people have a problem with that scene. That's one of the scenes I have problems with as well. But what else? What other things bothered you?
The other things that bothered me was really you had the casino scene,
right?
Which was just really out there. You know, that whole scene, it actually felt almost more like a part of a video game where they give you like a side quest, and you know, while you're playing the game, you think to yourself like, how am I actually accomplishing all this stuff while the main story is still going on? Like, this is a lot of time. You know, it's kind of like they had enough time to fly, you know, jump to light speed, fly to another planet, go through all that. And the other ship is still running away the whole time in a straight line, just running away.
Yeah, the Canobite scene, the casino scene, I kind of agree there as well. And overall, how they used Finn in this movie, I didn't like at all. I think Boyega's an amazing actor, and they can do so much more with him. I think I really liked one thing I actually really liked about Finn in this movie is how they shaped the relationship between him and Rey, and they really they moved towards that they're very like they're friends, and they have almost a brother and sister bond. Like I don't think they're building like a romance between them. Right, kind of like a Luke and Leia type thing.
Right.
Right.
Almost like that.
Yeah, they definitely. His storyline is the weakest storyline for me in the film, by far, because it's a total waste. Like, I wanted to see more of his growth, and the fight with Phasma was pathetic. Like it seemed to be built up in the previews as this big fight between him and Captain Phasma, and it really wasn't.
Yeah. And that scene too. I mean, the whole thing. You have the two of them. They're about to be executed right there. Then you have boom, the explosion. And all of a sudden, the two of them are still right there. Phasma and her squad is blown off to a different room, but they're okay. They all get up and just walk back over.
Yeah.
That whole part was just like, wait, what? I mean, a hyperspace bullet, I'll call it. You know, that scene was done really well. My only gripe about that, again, was like, it's just something like, why didn't they, hyperspace X-wings without pilots and them right through the Death Star, you know?
Right.
It's like this. It seems like such a simple plan, like it should have been used before. The reason why, but it was really cool, and I like that part. My issue with it, this pink-haired lady, Admiral Helga, where did she come from? Why do we need her in the film? And why did we basically have Admiral Akbar just, die when Leia did? You know, you could have. He should have been in that role, that sacrificial role. I mean, the fans would have loved that. I would have loved that, to see Akbar, going out in style.
I was wondering where she came from, too. That's one question, if I could ask Rian Johnson, where the motivation for her character came from. I didn't understand.
There's a whole, overarching theme with the Resistance. If you notice, it's all the people in power, it's a lot of women, and I don't know if they're trying to get across some sort of new message with that, because you have Rey, the hero, and then you have Leia, who's always, smacking Poe down, repeatedly, and then Holdo, the same thing. So it was kind of, something there. I almost thought, but
Yeah, it was kind of like they basically gave Leia a rest, and they were like, okay, this woman's gonna be her, but just not the same.
Well, you can't.
Like,
right,
not
exactly.
the same character.
Like everything that, yeah.
Right, because she
everything
basically
that she
said
Leia could have done.
Right, she basically said, "I'm gonna do what Leia would have done." That's basically what she says every time someone questions her. She's like, "Well, Leia would have done
told me this." So.
Right, basically that's what it was. So yeah, we kind of have the same issues with those parts of the film.
I want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to lead you into a different part of the film. Both of you guys are sham artists, and when I asked you
Why?
if you found out where Snoke came from, you did tell me the truth, but you didn't. I appreciate you guys not telling me what happened to him.
Okay.
And I want to know your thoughts on how they ended that. If you think he's a red herring, if you think they're going to come back to him somehow. I want to know Alex's thoughts first, and then we'll go to you, Eric.
Go ahead.
I think with Snoke, I didn't get to finish. I don't know if they actually go into his backstory of the Star Wars Aftermath books. I read the first of those,
right?
And there's one character in it that I feel like he is going to end up being Snoke, the way they built him up, but I don't know yet.
Who's that?
In the movies, Gallius Rax is his name, but I don't know if that's correct or not.
Fair enough.
In the movies, they built him up to be this, emperor type figure, that he's the new emperor.
Right.
Which is dramatically cut down in this film by Kylo Ren in a scene that I thought the whole throne room scene was probably one of the best scenes in the film.
It was excellent. It was very good.
The way Snoke died, I don't know if I was too thrilled with it, only because of how they built him up to be this, really powerful Force user. Even in that scene, the stuff he was doing was pretty amazing. And they almost parallel Return of the Jedi when Luke, his lightsaber is sitting next to Palpatine, So you kind of thought that maybe Rey was going to try to pull the lightsaber to her,
she did.
and Ren was going to chop out,
She did,
Oh yeah,
but
exactly.
It didn't work.
Right.
That was actually kind of a funny.
It didn't
funny
work out
scene.
the way you thought.
Yeah.
And then kind of after seeing that, I kind of had an idea of, obviously we all knew what Ren was doing. You could see it.
Right.
But I kind of thought that Snoke was like reading it in a way that he was just going to like jut out and grab the lightsaber and be like, "Oh, you fool," and then like the two of them were going to have to fight him or something. But his death, I thought it was really cool. That the way they showed his body and everything like that. I think it was pretty specific that he's done. Like, there's no more Snoke.
Well, yeah, and obviously as a living form, there's no more Snoke. I don't know if they're gonna do a kind of
ethereal,
like a ghost type deal with him, or maybe
Right.
flashbacks
Which
in Ren's head.
They did kind of establish the possibility of a Sith Force ghost in in the Clone Wars when Yoda, at one point he has to he speaks with, I believe it was Darth Bane, like his his shadow basically.
Right.
Or it might have been Anakin, one or the other.
Interesting.
But so it's definitely possible we could see a little bit more of Snoke, maybe haunting Kylo Ren, maybe haunting Rey.
Cool.
Yeah,
What do you think, Eric?
I wanted to see more. I wanted to learn more about him. That was, when I initially saw the film, that was one of the things that bothered me. I was like, you know what? I really wanted to learn more about this guy and see why is he doing the things he's doing, and why is he pulling these strings? And you don't get answers to that question. And again, it's a second movie in a trilogy, so maybe we will in episode 9. I don't know. But his death didn't bother me, only the fact that it seemed to be really quick.
Right. It's almost like with the movies so far, this one, The Force Awakens, it's like it's almost like they're taking 6 movies worth of material and putting it in 3 movies.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. Again, we don't know what.
Like that scene with Snoke dying, that could have been the end of a 3rd movie, and then goes into the new trilogy starting with Ren as the Supreme Leader. But obviously they don't have that much time to really flesh out the whole story like that.
Guys, if you're trying to call in, we're gonna take calls after the review with Alex. Okay, so call back.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah. So no, but the Snoke question. That's the thing that bothered me about that. And I don't it didn't make the movie any worse for me or any better. It's just, again, it was something that I wanted that I didn't get. So the Snoke
right,
issue
and I think that was a lot of people. They just want to know, what is he? Who is he? Where does he come from? How does he play into this? How does Luke know him? How does Leia know him? It seems like they all knew each other at one point. Like it was like like Snoke might have been involved in helping Luke.
I think there's
going to
be a flashback scene.
Era of Jedi. Yeah,
there's got to be
That's
in the next
they
few
tell the whole
movies.
story through flashbacks.
Exactly.
Stuff
Maybe
like
even
that.
in the. I mean, I know the Han Solo movie is going to be a young Solo movie, but you never know. They might throw something in there.
I doubt it.
I doubt
Right.
it, but you never know. You really never know, right?
Yeah, I mean, they did have in Rogue One. I don't know if anyone caught that. When she's looking through for the Death Star plans, she comes across one that's hyperspace tracking.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, as one of the secret projects. I mean, unfortunately, that Easter egg is kind of ruined when you remember that Scarif was then blown up by the Death Star, and that hyperspace tracking
That's true. That's true.
So,
Yeah, that's true.
but I mean, who's to say they didn't re-go into that project from scratch? Whatever.
All right, so
I think my other issue with the movie was Luke Skywalker himself, the character. I mean, Mark Hamill, he even kind of went into it. He didn't really think that it's how that Luke would have been. Just starting from the beginning when he takes the lightsaber and like throws it over his shoulder, like that kind of humor was so like over the top and not really like Star Wars type of humor. You know what I mean?
That's
like that was something you'd see from the Marvel movies.
Well, they are owned by the same company now.
I can argue
Right,
that,
exactly.
but I can argue that point with a good parallel to during Empire when we first meet Yoda. Yoda's a crazy, zany old guy too. He doesn't tell Luke who he is. Luke doesn't think he's Yoda, the Jedi Master he's looking for. Yoda kind of was this zany thing.
It's true. No, I thought that too.
The parallel there I see, but
as it goes on.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
But the Luke again, when I first saw it, that was my main beef too. That's not the story that I wanted. I did not want this Luke. I wanted Luke to be a badass Jedi in this, and to use his powers and to fight Snoke and Kylo, and I wanted that kind of a arc for him, and that was one of the huge parts of my disappointment when I first saw it. But when I watched it again, and I just said, you know what, Eric, forget all that stuff. It clearly isn't what you want. And I watched it again. Not only did I like it, I loved Hamill's performance. I thought he was great. This is his best performance in any of the movies by far. And it served the story well for what the story that Rian Johnson was telling. So,
But you just didn't like the direction.
it's not my Luke Skywalker,
Right.
and that's I think Alex
Right.
feels the same way. This isn't the guy that we grew up following. So,
But after
other small issue with like one of the Luke scenes was, all right, so you have that one part where he gets too little kicks his ass. I mean, this is a woman who just picked up a lightsaber not too long ago. She kicks the crap out of him. like.
well, he's old.
This is the Grandmaster Jedi Luke.
he hasn't been. He's a little rusty. He's gonna kick the rust off.
Well, she didn't. He didn't have the lightsaber at that point either. He was fighting her with this stick. Thing.
But who cares? I mean,
I think with Kylo Ren, he was probably the best part of the whole movie.
He was.
I don't know how they're going to transition into him being the supreme leader, because there's no way you're going to maintain the same level of respect if you're having these temper tantrums and destroying shit with your lightsaber. It's just you have to be
fear is as good as
more
respect.
composed. So I'm interested to see
with
the direction they kind of take him in the next film. That'll be very interesting.
Yeah, he had less temper tantrums in this film. So.
Yeah,
I
you
guess.
definitely saw the progression, and I think the next film he might be. I think he's going to be.
Now, do you think
the
he's
star
going to
of the
have like an
show. He's gonna be a
apprentice
phenomenal
or
character.
something?
Well, that's.
Yeah, I think they're going to kind of.
Yeah.
What was really interesting, backtrack a little bit here, was they made a big point with The Force Awakens to say that Kylo Ren and Snoke were not Sith; they were dark side users.
Right.
But then we see Kylo Ren fulfill the rule of two when he kills his leader, his quote unquote emperor, and he takes the mantle for himself of Dark Lord. And so I think he will find himself an apprentice, and he will focus on them being,
That rule of two is kind of
take his
BS
mantle.
anyway. Honestly, the rule of two is BS because what's his name had more than one. The Emperor, technically. I mean, he didn't train what's his name from the Clone Wars, Count Dooku. He didn't train him when he was 5. Like, he had Darth Maul also. Like, there's multiple people.
Oh well,
I don't get it.
I mean, with that whole thing was the Emperor. He had many acolytes, but the actual title of Sith Apprentice, there's more to that just using the dark side. It's actual like the actual Sith religion, and that's where that rule of two came in.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
All about the Sith.
Yeah, I mean it's clear that Snoke even says it in his little speech in the movie. He says he doesn't say he's a Sith. He says like Jedi and Sith. He points them out that they're separate. So that thing, yeah, I don't know what to call him or
Dark Jedi.
No, I don't know what I would call him or what I would call Kylo Ren, and just dark side users. Like that's the best way to explain it.
Fair enough.
But the what did you think of the Rey parentage thing? What was your take on that?
I think there's still more to be learned about that. I easily have seen Kylo Ren just toying with her emotions when he said nobody, drunks that sold her for, beer money or whatever.
Right.
That could have just been a way to break her down to try to get her to his side.
Right.
And then we're going to find out, it was actually, Obi-Wan Kenobi and someone crazy like that.
Well, I have a theory that I'd like to see happen, but I doubt they'll do it. Because I don't know what's going to happen on Rebels, but I really would like to have been Ezra and Sabine's child. That was kind of my
your hope.
My hope is that she was their kid.
Or do you think Kylo actually know? Yeah, I think
we'll see.
I agree. First of all, I don't know who these two people are. Once again, guys, if you're trying to call in, please call after we're done with the review. I think that. Do you think there's any possibility that she's one of the main character's children? I mean, that he's just lying to them. Her to make her angry, to, like Alex said, to kind of coax her over to his side type of thing.
This movie kind of makes it clear that she's not Luke's child. I mean, I think that's pretty...
Right. No, yeah, that I think was clear.
I don't think clear.
So Chewbacca's still in the mix here, right?
Chewbacca is still in the mix. Yeah, he's still in the
Could she be a clone of some sort?
I don't know.
With no parents? Like,
But think about it. Anakin was a nobody. He was a nobody.
But Anakin was literally a nobody. Like he didn't have a father. His father was the Force. He's
a Jesus baby.
Jesus, basically.
Right, but as of right now, we don't know if Rey has a father, or obviously she has a mother. We don't know if she has a father.
Right.
So
no,
it's possible
exactly. I mean, it could definitely be.
Why does she have to have a mother though? They could have grown her.
I think it's something more, whether it's the same type of birth as Anakin, or if it is some sort of parentage like, Obi-Wan or somebody like that.
The only thing that was established in this one is, and even in The Force Awakens, is that she and Kylo Ren are connected somehow.
My opinion from the outside, I know this is kind of taking a step back. This 917 number or 914 number wants to call us. I think the reason, I know this is, like I said, taking a step back because you guys were in the zone. I think the reason why Luke is the way you see him, and then it's kind of, I know Yoda made a stint in the movie. We can talk about that in a minute. But like when you see Yoda and he's a little all over the place when Luke goes to his planet to train, and now Luke like this, it's because they experienced a ton of trauma and they became recluse, so they didn't really know how to interact with people. I mean, that's just the way they are because of great trauma.
Wait till you see the movie, though. When you see it, you'll see just how far gone Luke was.
But that's what happens. You've been gone for years.
Because there's one scene early.
I think the difference between Luke and Yoda is Yoda, he went into seclusion as almost a way to, preserve the Jedi Order, and then, and when the time was right, the Jedi would come back. He says at the end of Episode 3. Whereas with Luke, he goes into seclusion because he's afraid of.
He thinks he failed.
The Jedi himself. It's more like a fear type of thing.
Right. He thinks he failed. Right. He thinks he failed as a master. So that's his thing. That was his exception of the reason why he went.
So did you like the movie overall, Alex, or are you if you were going to give it a 5 out of 5 stars, what's your star rating?
If I were to say, I can't really give it a star rating. I do like the movie, but if I were to give it a ranking as far as compared to other Star Wars movies, I would honestly, this would be towards the bottom for me, just above Attack of the Clones and even below The Phantom Menace. And The Phantom Menace I actually kind of like because of Darth Maul.
That's why. That's my one reason I like it too.
This movie didn't have this is the only Star Wars movie that did not have a true lightsaber duel. where you have blades clashing. I mean, you have the throne room scene, but that wasn't a lightsaber.
No, it
duel.
wasn't.
You didn't have two sabers going back
That's
and forth.
true.
You have the Kylo Ren and Luke scene, but Luke was just a projection. He wasn't really there.
Right.
I mean,
that's true.
Yeah, that scene I thought was amazingly well done with Luke.
That was an incredible.
It's just it's like I wanted to see him actually fighting so bad, so I was a little upset. But the scene was so well done that I was like, all right.
Yeah, but that's something you haven't seen either, right?
Well, that's the thing. A lot of the stuff.
Yeah, that was a new concept as well. The astral projection.
A lot of these things we hadn't seen before. Like that's one of the things about this movie, and that's one of the things that a lot of the traditional. I don't even like. I'm a diehard Star Wars fan, but I don't consider myself a fanboy because I don't go crazy over these ridiculous stories. I out of 5.
Yeah.
I think it's a 4-star film.
Okay.
I think for me, Empire is still number 1. Probably A New Hope, and then probably this for me. This is probably my 3rd favorite Star Wars movie. And again, had you asked me this Thursday night after I saw it, I probably would have agreed with Alex.
Gotcha.
But when I saw it the second time, and I literally said, you know what, I need to prepare myself now for a world without the Skywalkers, because that's where we're going.
Well, it's funny, right? So we have the dark side opinion. We have the other side, and they're opposites.
Yeah.
But listen, you got to have opposites
I love
to balance the force.
irony that you have, Han Solo and Luke that have now been killed off.
Right.
But we have Princess Leia, but Carrie Fisher is gone.
Right.
The 2 actors that are alive are dead.
Yeah, it's so weird, dude.
Alive.
But
So that's the other thing is Carrie Fisher. She finished all of her scenes for this movie, right? But not the next one. So they have to basically give her an off-screen death.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to. They'll probably do some sort of a time leap,
or
jump forward 5
up.
years. This way Kylo Ren can be an established supreme leader.
Yeah,
He'll
that
be all
makes sense.
badass. They'll probably make him super pale and all that.
Yeah.
And then they'll just be, oh yeah, Leia died peacefully in her sleep. Like that'll probably be in the opening crawl. It's like
Something
the
like
resistance
that.
is in peril.
I hope they address
They've
it in
lost
the
their
movie.
leader as Chancellor, Leia has fallen or something.
I hope they address it in real time, but we'll see.
I mean, they could do a ship blowing up, something like that. But yeah, I agree. But listen, all in all.
Really quickly.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So we know J.J. Abrams is coming back for Episode 9. First of all, are you happy about that? And second, do you think he's going to tie up the loose ends that were left from this movie?
I think there'll probably be a couple things that'll get left open. I think no matter what they put in about Snoke, I don't think it'll be enough because I don't think you have enough time to put in what we want.
Right.
But I think he'll tie together a good amount of it. And then of course you have, Ryan Johnson. He's going to be directing another trilogy, so we'll see how that goes too. I don't know if that's going to be connected to this in any way.
Well, the little boy. There's a rumor going around that the little boy that we see at the end of this movie and one of the slave kids.
Yes, he uses the Force.
He
to
uses
pull
the Force to
his
pull
hand.
the broom to him first. There's a theory going around that he's going to be the main character in Ryan Johnson's new trilogy. That's the theory going around.
We'll see, right?
I don't know how true
I mean,
that
that's
is.
definitely a bit of a stretch, and
But-
it's a. I guess it's a good jumping off point. Because you can take that and
Right.
it shows the connection, and they can go any direction with it.
Right, and we don't know what's going to happen with Rey and the next one, so
Time will tell. Is that 2 years? We have 2 years.
we have 2 years till 9, and then
May or April is.
May
Han
is
Solo.
supposed to be Solo.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Listen. Before you leave, Alex, I have one non-Star Wars related. First of all, great job, both of you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Sorry I couldn't, see it in time because I'm a failure at life.
Yes, that's true.
So non-Jedi related question, and I'll segue nicely into our next topic. So you were at the Jets game this weekend. What did you think about what you saw on the field? I personally think they played hard. They're still young, but I think they look awesome. And I'd like to know, first of all, how you thought they looked in person. And secondly, what do you think they're going to go in the draft? How are you going to do it? What are they going to do in the draft?
In person, they definitely looked not too bad. It was definitely good to see them. I was definitely more impressed with the defense at points. The QB situation. Oops, sorry, I lost feedback right now.
No worries.
The QB situation right now is trash. Bryce Petty, garbage. Get him out. He cannot play for this team.
Thank you, Alex.
Wait a second. I don't disagree. But
no.
I'm telling him they're not taking shots down the field.
Don't
so
listen
how
to
do
him.
you know? But
He
how do
was
you know?
arguing with me on the way here.
Oh, my God.
About how he's give Petty more of a chance.
Well,
don't.
if you're going to have him out
He's
there,
terrible.
All right.
He's terrible.
Yeah. No, I think that basically he's got the same exact weapons that McCown had. We don't have any major injuries. So there's no reason he should do at least what McCown's doing, but he's not. He's trash.
Well, he
Thank
also
you.
He can't move the
Thank
offense
you
at all.
Thank you.
all right.
He's
So
This
good.
is now what, 3 years on the Jets? I mean, 3
Well, on the
years
Jets,
in the NFL.
it's
If you're
like-
going to do something, you're going to do something.
Well,
You know?
the one thing we could say is he looked like he got hurt, but he didn't. So
hand might have hurt. Yeah,
that's
okay.
progress for him because usually when he takes a hit, he's out
Fair enough.
forever.
Yep.
So, but nah, it's time. You know what? Play Hackenberg this week, please. I don't even
I
care.
agree.
At this point, just play him. I know he's terrible.
You know
but
why? I know why they're not starting Hackenberg, why they won't play him. It's because he is so abysmally bad that they know the second they put him on the field, any trade value he has goes down to nothing.
That could be.
They're going
That could
to
be
hold on to
something.
him a little bit and use him as a piece. Maybe they can use that to move up and get one of these top QBs like Darnold or Rosen or something like that.
Do you want to? All right, but here, this is my big argument with Eric. We have $80 million to spend, right? My personal belief is you go out, you trade your second for either Hundley or A.J. McCarron, or you spend on Kirk Cousins, because very rarely, the last time a quarterback came out, first of all, Cousins led the league in passing yards the last 2 years. He's making Crowder and people like that look decent, and you don't get a quarterback that comes out in free agency like that. Drew
maybe-
Brees was the last one that
maybe
came out.
they're making him look good.
Yeah, but if you get a quarterback and then you draft Saquon Barkley or an O-lineman or someone like that in the top 10, I think your team gets instantly better, and then you still have $60 million to spend on the rest of your team.
Yeah, I could see that being probably the best option. If Cousins, if he can be had, they need to go after him. I think you get Cousins, you build the O-line back up, because you remember our team started coming up when? We took Ferguson and Mangold in the first round.
Yeah.
Ever since then, we were able to build up better and better.
I agree.
Until both of those guys retired and left
Yeah.
the team, and now we have no O-line again.
It was great.
We need to
Took
do the
Mark
same
Sanchez.
thing. Build the O-line.
Is that what you prefer, or do you want a
Position in
quarterback?
football.
Which one do you want? Simon Cousins or top 5
well,
quarterback or whatever?
I really would prefer, for the Jets, I would like that.
Yeah.
From the sense that I play a lot of Madden, I'd love for them to get like Jackson.
What is
Madden
with
is life,
both
man.
of you guys? And Madden is not real.
He runs the
I
league
hate-
with me,
No.
so
I
you're talking to
hate
the wrong
to break
people.
the news to you, but the game is not real.
It is. You know why?
But no,
Because Robbie
for
Anderson.
real life purposes, get Cousins, build the O-line.
No.
The defense looks great. Maybe you get another young corner in there who
Yep.
can run with guys.
You
but,
definitely need a corner. Yes.
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 Yeah.
I agree with that. You need
the main thing, O-line.
So,
They need big boys that can hit people.
So, Alex, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
Hopefully
man.
we'll have you
Thanks
on
for-
again. Maybe next time the Jets are relevant. Actually, maybe near the draft, we'll give you a call. We'll talk about that. But listen, we appreciate you having spending
Coming
some
on,
time with
man.
us and
Yes.
doing the review, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, buddy?
Talk to you soon, man.
Thank you for having me.
All right,
Okay,
great.
thanks.
All right, so guys, whoever was trying to call in, I think there was 2 or 3 of you that were trying to call in when the interview was going on or the review. Call in now. Sorry we had to cut you out. I think a 914-769-6480. I don't know who you are. Call back in. So we got into football, week 16. I'm shedding a little tear here because it's almost done, the season. Oh, we got him called back in. Who is this? This mystery caller.
Hey, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Maddie, how are you?
Who is this?
Big Mitch. Big Mitch.
Oh, Big
Westchester
Mitch.
County.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, good.
What do you want to talk about, man?
I was looking to talk about college.
All right.
Sports.
What about college? The playoff coming up? The college playoff? Or basketball? Or something else?
Wait, Matt, did you get new glasses from last week?
I didn't, but they're a little, you know what it is? I cleaned them, so that's
And I'm actually wearing glasses. for
first
the
time ever. He is wearing them
I
on the
don't have
show.
my contacts in.
But listen. So what do you?
Yeah, no, I mean,
What do you want to talk about?
no, I was just calling to say what's up. Wish you guys the best.
Thank you.
Big things this year for 2018. Definitely put you guys on the radar for college sports.
I like it. What do you think about the playoff coming up? Who do you see coming out on top of those 2 games?
Well, I got dinner waiting, but
Okay.
have a good year, fellas.
No
Wish
worries.
you the
Thanks,
best.
Mitch. Call us
care.
anytime. Thank you. All right. So, kind of getting back into what I was saying.
Right.
We will maybe touch on the college playoff next week more so.
Yeah.
I think
'cause-
Alabama's coming out on top.
Right, like on Monday we'll have the
Final.
Right.
We'll see.
No,
But-
we'll have the semifinals, right?
No, but I mean Monday we'll have I meant to say the winners of the. We'll know
Right.
who's going to be playing.
Yeah, right.
But
We'll know who's
yeah,
gonna
we
be
have
playing.
what's it? Clemson versus it's Oklahoma versus who is it? Am I shot right now?
Are they playing Alabama?
No,
Clemson's
Alabama's playing
Alabama.
Clemson, and Oklahoma's playing someone that I'm forgetting, and
Yeah,
I'm going
me
to get
too, I'm
rebound
blanking.
for.
I'm
But either way, I think at the end of this all, it's going to be Alabama as always.
No,
I
I can't.
I would hope it's not because they're
don't
like
even
the
deserve to be there,
my
so.
my relatives are actually my cousin goes to Alabama, and now they automatically she thinks she knows everything about college football. Whatever. I said your team is like the Yankees. Who I'm a Yankees fan. It's like the Patriots. It's like the Cowboys of the '90s. People are joining because they're the best team. It's like it's kind of getting boring to me watching Alabama because it's like, all right, you're the Kentucky Wildcats of football. Like you're getting all the best players most of the time.
Right.
Sure, there's people that come out of nowhere and they're like the best, or there's like top 50 players that turn out to be the best. But in the actual recruiting of things, they're
playing
dominating.
Georgia. Sorry, they're playing Georgia.
Oh, they are playing Georgia. You're right.
Oklahoma's playing Georgia, and Clemson is playing Alabama.
Should be a good game.
I am hoping, because I have friends who live down there, I'm hoping my buddy Paul is a big Bulldogs fan. My friend Jim went there, and his
Okay.
wife went there. So I'm probably pulling for them because of that. Anyone but Alabama, though, would be fine with me. I can't stand them. I hate Nick Saban, and I really don't want to see them win again. So I don't think they deserve to be there this year either. So that's my take on the college football playoff.
Well, I think that they do because they got beat by a team that is
Yeah,
not.
but no one cares what you think.
Okay, fair enough. So let's listen. College football. We'll talk about it next week a little more. But my opinion is Alabama's going to sweep. They're going to go through it.
Again.
I don't want them to, but that's what I think.
Okay, that's fine.
And Archie would tell me, "No one cares about your opinion." He'd say it a little more colorfully.
Yeah.
But so week 16. Back to that.
Yes.
It's sad. It's the second to last week, and
Yeah, man, it is.
it wasn't a bad week though for me.
No, and it wasn't for me picking games on Saturday that I didn't put any money down on.
Eric posted 2 games with spreads on our page. Nailed them.
Did not put a dime
Didn't
down.
put a dime down. Would have won a lot of money. I, on the other hand, Eric, I think he felt a little salty from not playing his picks, so he didn't pick his daily picks.
No, I said this week, because I'm the only one who picked the games, I said you do
Fair
the
enough.
fantasy one.
Okay.
That would be fine.
So I picked Gates at tight end, which was the second performing tight end.
Yeah, he was great.
And he was 2,500 on draft. He was like literally 2,500 is the minimum that you can pay for any
he
position.
had a big game.
Yeah, huge game against the Jets. Well, for what he's been lately, huge game, but not in the retrospect of his entire career because he's had some crazy
Well,
games.
yeah.
But
He used to be one of the best.
big game, second in the league. I also said Deion Lewis, who was the second or third ranked. I think he was behind only Powell and Todd the God Gurley.
Right.
That's his new nickname for me, and I'll get into that in a minute.
That works.
And then Jameis Winston, he actually had a 300-yard plus game. He did pretty well. Nothing too crazy, but did well. And then Martavius Bryant had an okay game. But good picks overall. If you played those guys, they were in those 4 collectively were in 78% of lineups on
Yeah, so
DraftKings. So a lot of
yeah.
people played them, but
Definitely, and it paid off. Obviously, they didn't kill your teams if you
No.
played them. So
and I'll tell you right now, Todd the God Gurley did not kill my teams at all because you're looking at this guy right here. Take a look.
Yeah,
Take a
yeah.
good look.
Yeah.
2 championships.
Yeah.
2 playoff runs. 2 championships.
Congratulations.
$1,700 richer. I'll take
Congratulations.
it. I got to give myself a pat on the back there.
That's great.
And I
Good
want
for
you
you,
guys
man.
to know I'm not modest when it comes to fantasy football. All right?
Clearly not.
But just know you're good with me. I'm better. I've found throughout the year that I am decent at daily, but I'm better at year-long.
You are.
Drafting teams, picking up people at the right time. Listen, I went hard on Todd Gurley in the beginning of the year. One of these leagues, I got him I literally paid more than anyone in an auction league
he had
for
a nice
him.
bounce back.
Yeah, but when I bought him at the time, you wouldn't think to spend the most on him. There was
No,
Ezekiel Elliott, there was David Johnson.
Right.
He blew his, it was before he got injured.
Right.
Le'Veon, stuff like that.
He's
so.
he's had a great season. Right now he'd be my pick for MVP. So
I agree.
That's my choice. I mean, it was in my list of things to discuss, so I might as well say it now since we're talking about him. When you look at guys who mean the most to their teams, yes, Goff has been a lot better this year, and that's one of the reasons why. Right, I think it works both ways, but definitely Gurley has, I would say, probably carried that team most of the season. He's been incredible, whether he's receiving the ball or running the ball.
Yep.
Uh,
Now,
you can always go Brady. That's always a safe pick.
but see, now that you've seen the last 2 games with Gurley and the way he's literally won them the game,
Yeah.
This first time they played Seattle, he had 35 total yards on the ground. And, of course, he didn't face the same defense because of injuries. But the way 2 weeks ago that was 2 weeks ago, right? Yep. That he blew up. And was it 4 or 5 touchdowns?
4 touchdowns.
And then this week, to follow that up, we're seeing a special
definitely a special
talent,
run.
just like Saquon Barkley.
It reminds me kind of when Larry Johnson from the Chiefs, the old Larry running back for the Chiefs.
You mean Priest Holmes? I know
No,
Larry Johnson.
Johnson.
You're talking about Larry Johnson.
Yes.
Stone hands. No. Keep going.
What I was going to say is he had a run similar like this, like really back-to-back dominant weeks. And that's when I was watching him, that's who I thought of right away.
Okay.
I mean, the other guys did it all the time, but for in a short span of time, that's.
But I don't think he's going to be like fizzle out like Larry Johnson. Like you're right.
Well, he had a bunch of injuries because of the way he ran, and he just fizzled out.
I'm going to make a comparison here. It's not the guy I told you before.
Good because.
Well, if you look, all right. First of all, I think Todd Gurley is basically LaDainian Tomlinson. If you look at the way that he plays, a little different, but the way he catches the ball out of the backfield. The way that he runs.
He worked on because he wasn't as good as it before.
He was great. No, he's been great at catching the ball out of the backfield. It's just the way the offense was set up. They didn't lean towards his strengths. And that's the problem with Jeff Fisher, and that's why he doesn't have a job. That's why he's the worst freaking coach in my mind, he's the worst coach in NFL history. Head coach. Yes. Look at his just for another day.
He was kind of good when McNair was there, and
he had Eddie George and McNair because you could play.
I'm just saying though, he had some success. I don't think.
Well, but look at what's going on with the team that he left.
I mean, Rich Kotite's probably worse.
Listen, I think generationally you have 1 or 2 running backs come every 10 years that are like this. We have the benefit of seeing 3 in this, which is Elliott, Bell, and him. Sean McCoy is great as well.
McCoy too.
But they're not the same.
Bell is still the best running back in the league to me. When
healthy,
everything being equal, to me, he's the best running back.
The most dynamic is Gurley.
But yes,
like he can when he gets the ball, he's a better run after catch player than Bell, in my opinion. Bell has way better vision as a runner, specifically.
So patient, and then he just.
That's what I mean. He holds behind. He's
so patient.
That's like a flag football way of running.
It's incredible.
I don't know if you know that. Like
Curtis
you hold behind the guy's belt and you push him.
Curtis Martin ran like that too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you got to mimic the running backs. Joe Mixon literally mimics Le'Veon Bell to the point where he's dressing exactly like him and he's copying him, and Bell's getting pissed off about it, which is hilarious to me.
All right. Really quickly.
Yep.
In the AFC, the playoff picture is a little more clear now.
Okay.
We kind of know what's going to happen.
We're not making our picks yet.
No, we're not making any picks.
Next week we might.
But the Patriots and Steelers both have the first round bye. The Eagles have the home field throughout the playoffs.
So, sorry, what's going on versus the Jets? Is Brady going out there, or is it going to be what I said?
No, I think he will go play because they haven't clinched home field. So I think he'll go out there and.
By the way, off topic, but Garoppolo.
I know, right? Well, I have him on the list too.
Well, we only have 2-3 minutes.
That's why I'm saying we have to go through this quickly.
Please. All right, let's go. Boom, boom, boom. Sorry.
Garoppolo, carved the best defense in the league, made them look kind of
5-0 as a starter,
and made them look kind of silly this week. The Jacksonville Jaguars
he might
look
honestly.
a little silly.
What a steal at this point for a second.
Yeah, right now, yeah. I mean, you'd have to say that trade is definitely working out in the Niners' favor.
But he's also new.
Yeah, no.
So people don't know his
have seen him before,
yet.
But not in this offense. So
well, he has a good because those starts where 3 of them were here, and then 2 of them were
the first 2 were in comeback form.
In New England. No, the first 2 as a starter.
Yeah.
Were New England.
Yeah. No, the first 2 this year, they were losing and he brought them back.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. And then done yesterday or Sunday, he was incredible just the whole game. He clearly has learned from Brady or from that system being in New England how to play quarterback. Like he has learned how to what a quarterback's supposed to do. Right. That's what I mean. Like he doesn't like some young guys get in there and the moment's too big for them.
Well, Brissett also. I mean, he's not the same type of player.
But this guy seems to have soaked up as much as he could from being in New England, and now he's transferred that.
Now, if he hits the open market,
he's not going to.
I don't think if you trade a second, you're not. Right. You got to lock him up. But
if he did, he's the one I would consider. Mostly because I'd rather stick it to the Patriots as well. So that would be fun. Really quickly, Cleveland is 0-15. They have Pittsburgh, who does have something to play for. Do you think we're going to see 0-16? I would pretty much say yes. Okay. So
but it's the last time we had 0-16 was the Lions, and that was the same year the Patriots were 16-0. So you have a balance. But yeah, I think whatever, man. And last point on Cleveland, Josh Rosen today refused to play for them.
Josh Rosen said he will not
So
go
we kind of got a John Elway, Eli Manning situation.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens as we get closer to the draft. Lastly, I want to bring this up because it's your second team.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks eliminated Dallas from the playoffs this weekend.
They were dealt a rough hand. I mean, they lost Elliott, you know?
Are you less confident in Dak Prescott
No,
this season?
not at all.
Forward? You're not?
I think he grew. Because you could see, even though he lost these last, whatever, you could see that once Elliott was gone for like 2 games, he was making smarter decisions, and he was also taking control of the offense a little more.
The thing about this on Sunday, or whenever they played, it was Sunday, right? It was Sunday. The interceptions he threw really weren't his fault. Had some tip passes, and he's had a lot of those this year. And Des Bryant, honestly, shut up. Because I don't want to hear you anymore when you're dropping passes and you're not running routes correctly, and then you're on the sideline yelling at your coordinator. You know what? To me, he's a disappointing player. He hasn't been what he should have been coming into the league. So Des Bryant, I'm not a fan.
My Cowboys will turn it around. They have the core. The line got a little dinged up. Tyron Smith wasn't there most of the season.
Yeah.
Next year, business as usual. Earl Thomas came out and said he wants to play for him. So that's the last thought I'll leave you with here.
Next year I really hope, one of the things this season, obviously the NFL, was a ton of injuries that we had. Mm-hmm. Next year I hope we don't have all of those, because there was a lot of stars that got hurt this year, and it hurts the game. The game was hurting enough from a lot of the circusy stuff that was going on, but not having star players also hurts the game. So as much as I love football, so I want it to come back.
For sure, but the young guys get a chance. But listen, guys, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you watching as normal. We have John and the guys on Laughter Saves Lives coming up right after us. Same place, same number to call in.
Right.
We will see you next week after the New Year's. Have a great holiday celebration and be safe. Have a nice one, guys.
Happy New Year, everybody.